Welcome to the Ugandan Dream. We are back on site and progress is moving along nicely. Welcome back. We are back. So now we at the basement gym, and we want to experiment with the windows because we have a few styles and ideas that we can choose. So the engineer is working in the inside and he's going to start the outside of the windows. So we want to experiment with some of the frames, and we're going to go inside in the gym, and the engineer started to do the final plastering because we want to start to experiment with the windows. And we thought we start with the basement gym since it is closed off. We have the roof on, and we will put the windows, and we'll put the actual door in as well. So we're just going to go into the basement and want to start to experiment, because when you're building, we have things on paper, but actually when you actually practically come to implement your designs on paper, sometimes there's a lot of things that change. And also I get inspired by different ideas. I look at different buildings and different layouts of gyms, and so now we're starting to experiment, but we're going to experiment with the first window. We want to actually see how it would look. The boys are going to clear this gym properly, clear everything, and we're just working on this window, and we're going to experiment and see also with the security. In terms of security bars, we're not going to have the traditional security bars. We're going to actually have modern security bars. So we're just starting to experiment, because the roof, the boys have finished pouring the roof, and we're going to go up to the roof and show you the finished product. For now, we're just going to start to experiment, because the structure of the building is finished now. The structure of the main house is finished. We start to experiment and take our time. And also the interior sketches started to come in, and just getting a feel of what type of colors we want to use. Okay, this is some lost footage of the concrete roof pouring. As you can see, it was about 90% done. They were just finishing off the final corners, and as you can see, the roof was also poured with a slight slant to make way for the drainage. So when it is time to put the drainage in, the water would slant on both sides in order for the water to go down to the drainage. So this is how it looks like. The final days of the finishing of the pouring of the concrete roof, and then after that we shall go back and I'll show you, or we shall go forward and I'll show you the finished product. So this was a very, very interesting experience, and we learned a lot on this pouring of the concrete roof. The boys did well. You can see they are tired, but the boys did well. And when you're pouring, when you're doing this, you have to make sure everyone is punctual. So, and the sun as well. So the concrete dries very fast. So, yeah. So let's take a walk through the living room and the main hall, and let's go upstairs and see how it has turned out. The concrete roof has finished, and they're just doing some finishing touches upstairs, but let's have a look. So we're going with the stairs. Now, one thing I can say, I actually should have made space for a lift in this house. I should have put a lift in, but I spoke to people who actually have done that, and the yearly cost of a lift, they said it's not worth it. But the stairs, it's a good exercise, and as you get older you might want to lift. So but like I say, nothing's perfect. So here the boys, they're just doing some finishing touches. They just clean this area, make sure everything is clean, so there's no hazards so you don't trip over anything. That's the engineer. Done a good job, and we have completed the structure of the house. This is phase one in the build. We've completed the structure of the house, and, so the structure is finished. So now we go on to phase 2, which is simply going to be the finishing, the electrician, the interior, and we're still going to build another structure on the roof on the side facing the other side. We're going to build a small structure there, and then this is all going to be entertainment area. So this is how it looks like. The roof is finished. Next day we came with the scaffolding manager. He wanted to make sure that the scaffolding that was holding up the roof was secured tightly, and that everything had been left as he and his company in terms of their standards do. And so he came personally to come and check, make sure everything was fine, that the scaffolding at the bottom was fine, and at the top also, that everything had been left and cleaned and so on. So we did our final checks. Me and the scaffolding manager, we talked about things that we could improve going forward for the guest house and the swimming pool. But yeah, so far so good. We are back, and we have started to remove the scaffolding for the roof to open up the space, and we are commencing with phase 2, which is going to be the interior. It's going to be electronics, the windows, and as you can see, we still have a lot of work to do, but the structure of the house is finished. We are currently in the living space and the hallway to the front. So we still got a lot of work to do, but the structure of the house, I can successfully and proudly say it is finished. So, as the word says, we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us, and we are on to the next stage. The interior, the windows, the electrician, and so on. And we have some video and 3D images of how it's going to look like when it's finished. And that looks like that's today's episode, and I hope you guys have been inspired with phase 1 of the build. And once again, we've heard of the American dream, even the European dream, but I encourage everyone to start to think about the African dream or the Ugandan dream. Wherever you're from in the continent, come back home, start to build on whatever size you have, and let's, as a group, as a collective, make Africa home again. See you on the next episode.